How do so many teenagers, 16, 18, have cars? How could you possibly afford that at such a young age? My first car was a 1992 Buick Regal that had 160,000 miles on it and cost me $800. I worked as a busboy at a restaurant to afford it. At least in the US, driving is the only way to get around. Really. In most cases, the parents get a beater or used car for their kid to be able to get around so they don't have to chauffeur them around. Your parents if it's a nicer car. But even my poor friends had absolute beaters that were worth like less than $1K. Some of them save up from jobs. Much easier to do if you have no bills and can use all your money for once. And buy an old car for pretty cheap. But a lot have their parents buy it for them. It's the insurance that's the killer. They have parents. You can get a beater for like $1,000. I bought my first car at 18 and it cost me $1,200. It was in surprisingly good shape because it was driven by an elderly woman, but it was 15 years old. Buying the car isn't the issue. It's how do they pay for the insurance in their own name if they are under their parents' plan is the question. Parents buy things they can afford for their kids. Some kids also earn money. Used cars can be had for a few $100s. Not a vast chunk of any salary. My parents bought me a used Pontiac Grand Am for $5,000 when I turned 16. It was nicer than what most of my friends had, but not as nice as what other kids had. I'd say it was a slight step above the median car a 16-year-old would have in my very average suburban high school. I'd been working since I was 14, but I didn't have enough money to buy that car myself. When my kid turned 17, she was a model child. Responsible, respectful, always told us where she was going and when she would be back, and immediately called if plans changed. Straight flicking A's on the report card. Heck, I couldn't do that when I was that age. Her mom had Find My iPhone on her phone and she never told us one thing and did another. So I dipped into my retirement account and bought her a Jeep. The way I see it, she earned that Jeep. A lot of parents give their kids cars when they get their licenses. My 16-year-old saved all the money given to him for birthdays, Christmas, other random gifts from the age of about 5 for the purpose of buying a car when he turned 16. He bought a used SUV at auction about 3 months before he got his license. He was so proud that he paid for his first vehicle and takes great pride in his truck. First car I bought was $400. Ran and drove with 300K miles on it. Still going 50K later. I'm 17 and I have been working at a restaurant for about 2 years. 3 days a week. 5-hour shifts and tip out from the restaurant. I didn't spend a penny to save up for a car. And when I had enough money I bought a Subaru Outback Sport for $11,500. It's in decent condition and only has 30K miles, so I got a very good deal on that one. I worked my teenage job and saved money because I wasn't paying rent. That's how I could afford one. A basic used car is only a few $1,000s. That's not a lot for a teenager who doesn't have other financial responsibilities to save. A lot of parents will pay for their kids' insurance too, or their kids will pay for it out of their jobs. Most teenagers at my school have cars. And either they work hard for it, their parents help them, or they borrow their parents' cars. At least in my experience in middle-class America, 99% of them were bought by their parents. While they may have had to pay for their own gas and maintenance, the initial car purchase was the parents'. My parents bought a new car for themselves shortly before I turned 16. So when I got my driver's license, they traded that car in for something very slightly cooler, and that's what I drove. It was still in my dad's name. However, on top of that, I bought a used motorcycle when I was a senior in HS. I also knew people who got brand new cars when they turned 16. I think that's ridiculous. I also knew a guy that bought a brand new car when he was in 11th grade. Speaking from the UK, you'd be surprised how many parents are willing to fork out £500 for an old banger so they don't have to drive their kid around anymore. Also, some of them sell drugs.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Heracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.